Good afternoon, Rick Romero, RICK-ROMERO, Lifeguard Lieutenant with Sending Fire Rescue. So a little call came in at 9:56 from a commercial assistance vessel stating there's a vessel offshore near the surf line that looks like they're going to be in trouble. And so we sent a rescue boat initially as a check on, and then as we kept on getting updates on the Marine Channel 16, that they were getting closer to shore. Only one person on board was the initial report, and then a few minutes after that, they're going to be in the surf line. We sent a response by land and by vessels, a jet ski, and a rescue boat. Once we arrived on scene, the boat had been basically broken apart. A 40-foot cabin cruiser with multiple people on board. The first report from the commercial assistance vessel was 3 or 4 people with PFDs waiting for help. That turned into much more people as we started getting on scene and analyzing the scene. There were people in the water drowning, getting sucked out the rip current there. There was people on shore, and the reports were CPR in progress down below with multiple people injured. And then we had 2 jet skis, 3 rescue boats coming. We picked up about 7 people in the water. 2 of them were face down and drowned. And then those were transported over to San Diego Harbor Police Dock. Federal Fire was there assisting with the initial medical triage. And then once we saw it was going to be a bigger situation with more people, the numbers kept on increasing. We called for more resources to SDFD, more ambulances, and more rescue staff. Total about 30 people were involved in that boat, 3 of which were pronounced deceased. We did rescue about 6 people out of the water, and then Cliff extricated 1 person with our Cliff rescue vehicle. So a lot of moving parts. Federal Fire was there, lifeguards, SDFD, of course the park rangers there with the Department of Interior, U.S. Coast Guard, San Diego Port Police boats, and of course Border Patrol. So a lot of things going on at once. Our goal was just to rescue everyone we can from the water and down on the beach and get them up safely, transported to the hospital as quickly as we can. And that's what kind of happened. That's what we did.
Now we understand that there were 4 people in CPR status. 3 have passed away. What about that 4th victim?
I can't confirm that 4. I know it was 3 people doing CPR, and then those 3 had died.
And can you talk about the other injuries?
They ranged from just hypothermia, and others just from injuries caused by the breaking of the vessel. I can't confirm how many people had serious injuries, but a wide variety of injuries. Most of the people were able to walk themselves or swim this shoreline, but there was 6 to 7 people who just got sucked out that rip and were just getting pulled out to sea. That's when the lifeguard jet skis and rescue vessels were putting people on board the vessel. 2 of them were just unconscious and direct transport to San Diego Port Police Dock.
Are we missing anybody? Men, women, or children?
I don't have all that information.
No, we understand this is
anybody. Is anybody still?
That's unknown, so I don't know.
So there could possibly be more people out there.
There's a lot of people on the boat, yeah. So I don't have. There's no manifest on the vessel, so we don't know.
Are you still out there searching?
Coast Guard is out there right now conducting a cursory search of the area.
Now this happened at the tidal pools for Cabrillo National Monument. There were a lot of civilians there. Did any of them attempt to help these people?
Yes, there was one, I think, Navy staff member that jumped in. He was down there with his family. I don't have his info, but he swam all the way out and was with someone and assisted in saving, so that's a huge help. And he was put on board one of our lifeguard vessels.
We were actually told that he was a Navy rescue diver, so well trained for this.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. So huge help. That's conditions are pretty rough. 5 to 6 feet of surf, windy, cold. The water's around 60 degrees, so you get hypothermic pretty quickly. And then whether or not they were wearing PFDs or not, some were jumped in the water immediately. The boat was on the reef, bouncing back and forth, and then just slowly disintegrated into a bunch of pieces. So there's no boat there. It's all debris. So the actual breaking of the vessel could cause a lot of damage to people as well.
Any life vests?
There were lots of life vests out there, yes.
They were wearing them?
I I can't confirm if they were wearing it. People were just jumping in to, I guess, save themselves.
So you said it was a 40-foot cabin cruiser, but 40 people on a 40-foot cabin cruiser is much.
The count was 30 people.
30 people, so way overcrowded.
Overcrowded, yes.
And do we know where this boat came from?
I do not know.
Can we ask confirm if there are any minors?
No. I don't have that info. Come on up.
Next.
Hello, my name is Jeff Stevenson. I'm a supervisory border patrol agent, San Diego sector. It's JFF, last name Stephenson.
Thank you, sir. Can you talk about your agency's efforts?
So every indication from our perspective is that this was a smuggling vessel used to smuggle migrants into the United States illegally. We haven't confirmed the nationality of the people involved, but our agents are with many of them at the hospital. And the man who we believe was the operator, agents are with them, and the suspected smuggler, but the investigation is still unfolding.
And this weekend, you guys were supposed to have a maximum enforcement, having more people out in the waters, more people by air and sea, looking for boats like this.
Yeah, so this weekend we worked with our DHS partners, Coast Guard, CBP Air Marine Operations, who's here you can also speak with, and we were putting more resources out on the water to interdict vessels like this, and we announced it in advance to try to deter as much as we could to kind of send the message to smugglers. The ocean is inherently unsafe. The reality is crossing the border illegally is unsafe no matter the method, especially at sea. You know, with water temperatures being what they are, and as the lifeguards described, high surf, it's a very dangerous scenario, and the smugglers really just don't care about the people they're exploiting. All they care about is lining their own pocket for profit. So.
What does this tell you about the level of desperation and or the greed of the smugglers?
Well, as I said, the smugglers, they don't care about the people they're exploiting. All they care about is profit. To them, these people are just commodities. So you can see that in the way they treat them. Inadequate safety equipment, really poorly equipped vessels, and giving them minimal, sometimes they'll give them flotation devices and life jackets, but they're old, they're tattered. There's not like normal equipment you'd see, and they pack them onto these vessels. Obviously, this one was severely overcrowded.
Is it safe to assume the boat was from Mexico, and as far as that, maybe Ensenada?
Well, as far as the origination of the vessel itself, I mean, who knows, but the origination point, a lot of them we see coming out of like the Rosarito area, but I mean, they originate from various different beaches down there along the Baja coast and make their way up north.
This being a fairly large boat, it has to assume it came out of a port?
I couldn't say.
Now, you guys mentioned in that release an increase of maritime smuggling. Why do you think there is an increase in that method of smuggling?
So, with the increase in border infrastructure and patrols on the land, and smugglers look to, any vulnerability they think there is, and they are looking for any method they can to move what they view as a commodity. So that's the most likely scenario, but the reality is they just one more method of smuggling, by land, what we usually see, and we see it by sea in incidents like this. This is nothing new. We've seen this kind of on the ebb and flow, up and down throughout the years, but these last couple of years we've seen a dramatic increase. Last year, comparing FY20 to FY19, we had about a 92% increase in apprehensions in the maritime domain, and this year we're seeing a pretty steady increase as well. That it will probably be, by the end of the year, at least equal to what we had last year.
Now, with this operation and you guys having like extra resources out in the water, had you guys encountered this boat? Was it on your radar or anything like that before this actually happened?
So there's no indication that was that we were aware of the boat or anything like that. And what a lot of the smugglers do is they try to blend in with commercial traffic. Obviously, this type of vessel, it's not an open bow panga that we see sometimes. So likelihood is, and I can't speak specifically, but likelihood is they were trying to blend in with other commercial traffic in the area and the other legitimate vessels. So even if we did see it, there wouldn't necessarily raise any red flags potentially, but I can't really speak to this specific one. But there was no indication that we knew this vessel was being used to smuggle people illegally.
And the 92% number that you said, that's a year-to-year comparison of what, the month of April to last April?
So our fiscal year runs from October 1 to the end of September, September 31st. So that's for FY20. We had a 92% increase in apprehensions in the maritime environment. So our total was a little over 1,200, and so that was compared to the previous fiscal year.
Can you say, did you have crews in the water at the time? Probably not in the air because of where the weather is.
As far as that, I would have to defer you to our Air Marine Operations branch.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Tucker. I'm the BRANDON TUCKER.
Can you step up just a little more if you don't mind? Appreciate it.
I'm the Deputy Director for Air Operations at San Diego Air and Marine Branch. At the time of this incident, we did get the call sometime after 10:30 this morning. We did not have a coastal interceptor underway at that time, but crews scrambled quickly and got underway to get on scene. We also responded with a AS-350 A-Star helicopter out of Brown Field. We got that aircraft airborne at 11:20. It was overhead by 11:30. By then, the pilot reported to me that all people had been plucked out of the water. They went to shore. He did witness 2 Coast Guard cutters on scene, several pleasure craft, jet skis, the lifeguards on scene as well. So we did not have an aircraft airborne at the time of the incident, although the aircraft did get airborne shortly after, and then we had a scheduled maritime patrol somewhat later as well, but not airborne at the time.
Can you say how many other boats you may have intercepted since this operation started? What was it, Friday afternoon? Have you caught anybody else that we didn't know about? Not as tragic as this. Was there any other boats that you guys got?
Certainly not as tragic as this, but negative on no other boats had been located last night. However, we did release a press release on Thursday where there was a Panga interdicted multi-role enforcement aircraft detected this vessel coming in from the maritime boundary line from Mexico, and we called in and intercepted it with a coastal interceptor vessel on Thursday, and with 21 migrants on board. And we can provide that press release again if you don't have that one, but we did intercept that vessel on Thursday.
Are you guys going to continue this operation?
For Air and Marine's perspective, we're out there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, so we do focus operations here and there. When we have additional resources available to us, we do surge, but Air and Marine is out in the waters and air offshore San Diego 24/7, 365.
Can you talk about the magnitude of finding 30 people on one vessel? Is that amount of people on one common, or is it normally smaller groups and Panga boats and stuff like that?
It is normally smaller boats, slightly smaller groups. This one was particularly large for of course we're assuming that it was illegal migration, but generally they are smaller in the 20 to 30 foot range, generally about 20 plus migrants. This one was a bit larger than normal, but the overcrowding on these vessels, the unsafe conditions on these vessels, it's the same. It's just slightly larger. I can't. I've been trying to get that information, but I can't yet. Sorry.
Can you guys talk about next steps for those at the hospital and what charges the suspected operator might face?
I'll defer to prosecutors on what charges, but we do have the boat captain in custody.
Nationality?
Unknown at this time.
What's the condition of the captain?
He's a bit out of it, but he is speaking to agents on scene.
Is he known to your agency?
I wouldn't know. I not that I know of.
So these are really big operations that seem to be taking place. Are these like the drug cartels? They're human smuggling cartels?
I wouldn't know in this particular case, but I would assume that, yes.
What hospitals? Are they all over the county?
I have the numbers, but it's I think around 8 or 9 different hospitals that they were taken to.
James Gartland, J-A-M-E-S, Gartland, G-A-R-T-L-A-N-D, Lifeguard Chief for the City of San Diego. So I'll just do a recap. This was a mass rescue operation that turned into a mass casualty incident. We had about 30 rescues when the vessel broke up on the reef. Lifeguards went out, made 7 water rescues. We had 3 boats out there, 2 personal watercraft out there. We conducted a cliff rescue with our cliff specialty apparatus, and we had 1 major trauma and 3 CPRs, and the majority of the folks that came in were sent off to different hospitals throughout the county.
So again, when this first started, this just looked like a normal fishing boat caught in the surf. There was no big thing going on, and then suddenly it just blew up.
It came over in VHF as a 1 person on board vessel drifting to the surf line. Then the vessel hit the reef, broke up, and 30 people came out of the vessel and washed in.
Did they call for help, or did someone on shore call for help?
Somebody on shore called for help. Any questions?
Can you just talk about the magnitude of this? 3 lives lost and dozens others out of hospital.
Yeah, this is it's a tragedy. It's a tragic event here in San Diego, and probably one of the bigger vessel accidents and bigger calls that we've seen here. Certainly in my 26 years, and certainly in Lieutenant Romero's 28 years, this is probably the worst tragedy. I'm sorry?
Is the captain of the boat known to the agency?
We do not know who the captain is. He's in custody now.
And so you guys trained for this often. How do you think you guys did?
The lifeguards performed excellent. They did the best they could. We have trained for these mass rescue operations. We've had an exercise here at headquarters for this exact type of incident. The lifeguards did life-saving efforts. They conducted CPR on 3 of the victims. They made 7 water rescues and conducted 1 cliff rescue. So it was a big, strong effort by the San Diego lifeguards and everybody involved: Federal Fire, SDFD, Harbor Police Department, Customs and Border Patrol, the Coast Guard, the Department of Interior, the park rangers down at Point Loma. So this was a large unified command and an excellent effort by all the rescuers and responders that showed up today.
Chief, just the observation perhaps that here you have third world poverty and all sorts of other influences that are showing up on our shores that maybe you never thought you'd be training for this kind of an operation.
Well, we train to rescue people in the water and that are in trouble off the cliffs, out in the water. It doesn't matter where they come from or what they're doing. We're trained to do it, and we're happy to do it.